Before we begin, I just want to mention that I'll be giving away a $100 Amazon gift card. All you have to do to win is hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and comment the hidden word somewhere in the video. There are certain film villains who are on the upper echelon in terms of being more powerful, more iconic, and more irredeemably evil than the Dark Lord himself. Tom Marvolo Riddle, Darth Vader is the big bad of space, while Lord Voldemort is a wizard in the Harry Potter franchise who characters fear to even speak of.
I fashioned myself a new name, a name I knew wizards everywhere would one day fear to speak when I became the greatest sorcerer in the world.
So when it came to adapting the Dark Lord for the silver screen, Warner Bros. Had the difficult task of finding an actor to play the snake-like scourge on the wizarding world. Lord Voldemort is an arch-antagonist for the entire Harry Potter story, but over the course of 8 films, 5 different actors portrayed he who must not be named, Lord Voldemort, initially spoken of in hushed tones. J.K. Rowling introduces the legend of Voldemort as the greatest dark wizard of all time, wreaking havoc on the magical and muggle worlds in his quest. The Dark Lord managed to bolster his powerful position with the perfect execution of many plans, which came about from the accurate beliefs he had about things that benefited only to be defeated while attempting to kill a young Harry Potter. After his clash with the most dangerous baby of all time, Voldemort loses his physical form and spends the first few films attempting a revival. But before that, not many people noticed that the Dark Lord was not entirely portrayed by Ralph Fiennes. This posed the question, who played Lord Voldemort before him? With such sophistication and complexity, not many actors are able to accurately capture such a character.
Harry Potter is dead. From this day forth, you put your faith in me. And now is the time to declare yourself.
In the very first Harry Potter movie, Lord Voldemort is still an enigmatic threat lingering in the background. But when the backstory of Harry is explored via flashback, the Dark Wizard does make a brief appearance. After breaking into Potter's home and sculling into Harry's room, the audience's next visual of Lord Voldemort is a digitized face of veteran British actor Richard Bremer. While not a familiar name to most, Richard Bremer did what he could with the abbreviated role, but wasn't surprised when he wasn't invited back for the character's next major movie outing in the 4th film, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, by which time the Dark Lord's power reached its peak. He was replaced by Ralph Fiennes, who was already an A-lister with multiple Oscar nominations by the time the first film came out. So it's no surprise that the filmmaker didn't see him out for the brief CGI appearance. About him being replaced, Bremer said, "The producers spent a long time fighting to get me, so I'm very proud to have been the first, but the role is now being played by Ralph Fiennes, who is an old maid. In the 4th film, I've been in the business a long time and it didn't surprise me they just went for a bigger name, being Hollywood-led, and I'm happy to pass it on to Ralph." Bremer's Harry Potter career might have been brief, and his face may have been obscured, but the actor's footage was reused in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, allowing the actor to bookend the entire franchise. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets delve deeper into Voldemort's history by exploring his real-life identity as Tom Riddle and his days in Hogwarts, building a time-twisting tale that saw Harry unknowingly begin his journey to kill the Dark Lord. This new angle required a young actor to take over the role of Voldemort, rather than the middle-aged Bremer, and British actor Christian Coulson was ultimately cast, receiving the honor of being the first live-action face to portray Lord Voldemort in the Harry Potter franchise. Of all the actors to don the pale makeup and non-existent nose, British actor Ralph Fiennes is undoubtedly the thespian most closely associated with the role of Lord Voldemort. First appearing in 2005's The Goblet of Fire, Fiennes would go on to make the villainous role his own, appearing in each of the remaining Potter films in varying capacities. Putting all the characters' transformations and youthful flashback incarnations aside, Fiennes' face is the one fans remembered as being the definitive image of the present timeline. Resurrected Lord Voldemort. In an interview, Ralph disclosed that he almost rejected the role, the actor said. "The truth is, I was actually ignorant about the films and the books. I was approached by the production. Mike Newell was directing the film that they wanted me to be in. The first time Voldemort was going to appear physically, out of ignorance, I just sort of thought, this isn't for me. Quite stupidly, I resisted. I was hesitant. I think the clincher was that my sister Martha, who has 3 children, who was then probably about 12, 10, and 8, she said, "What do you mean? You've got to do it." So then I rewound my thinking. Needless to say, the critically acclaimed act was a resounding success in the role, managing to eke out every last drop of his character's venomous, sinister personality from J.K. Rowling's original book series and giving younger fans nightmares for years to come. Arguably, Fine's most memorable moment came during Voldemort's fated final showdown with Harry on the grounds of Hogwarts. Playing Lord Voldemort soon became a family affair in The Half-Blood Prince when Ralph Fiennes' nephew was cast to play the 11-year-old version of the future mass murderer. Hero Fiennes' Tiffin appeared when Dumbledore and Harry began diving into memories that would help them find a way to defeat the growing threat of Voldemort once and for all. Predictably, it was widely suggested that Hero landed the part thanks to his famous relation, and while director David Yates had admitted their resemblance was a factor, and also insisted that Hero had excelled during auditions, managing to exude Voldemort's darkness better than other candidates. Certainly, it's difficult to argue with those sentiments. Despite an outwardly innocent appearance, Hero Fiennes' Tiffin had a creepy child trope nailed down, and the audience really accepts that this young child will one day torment the wizarding world.
I can make things move without touching them. I can make animals do what I want without training them. I can make bad things happen to people who are mean to me. I can make them hurt. If I want.
When casting Voldemort at various ages from the multitude of flashbacks in The Half-Blood Prince and beyond, a mild teens version of the baddie was required. Christian Coulson was considered for the role, but, having already been older than his character the first time around, was now nearing 30 and ruled out the contention by David Yates. After several names were put forward for the part, drama student and British actor Frank Delane was cast, having only appeared as an extra in his previous project. The son of Stefan Delan, otherwise known as Stannis Baratheon in Game of Thrones, Frank offered a more unhinged performance as Tom Riddle, embodying a youngster clearly beginning to embrace his more dastardly instincts and forge a path towards wrongdoing. An 18-year-old version of Voldemort also came close to appearing in The Half-Blood Prince, and Michael Barrett was cast as the adolescent evildoer. However, these particular scenes were cut from the final script. That's a roundup of all the people behind one of the biggest villains of all time. What are your thoughts, and which one of them is your favorite? Let us know down in the comments.